as the distribution of funds began last month. 1,500 fisher folk are also in line for assistance. Kisha and for RTR News. The Transport Authority is to carry out investigations into the operations of a public passenger motor vehicle involved in a vehicular crash along the Shooters Hill Main Road in Manchester last week Friday. Several students were injured in the crash. In a release this morning, the authority's manager of communication and customer services, Petra Keane Williams, revealed that the investigations are ongoing and the public will be advised as more information becomes available. The Transport Authority also reminded public passenger vehicle operators to act responsibly and refrain from speeding on the nation's roads. Several students of the Homewood Technical High School were rushed to hospital following the crash. The students were passengers on the minibus. The police signaled the driver to stop following a traffic violation. After receiving the ticket, the driver drove off but reportedly failed to obey a stop sign before the bus overturned into a ditch. One of the men that the Major Investigation Task Force MIT listed yesterday as wanted has turned himself in. Jermaine Clark, otherwise called Braga, surrendered to the St. Anne police yesterday. The MIT had said Clark is wanted for the May 5, 2012 murders of Andre White and Simon Thomas. He was also wanted for 3 counts of shooting and malicious destruction of property. 5 other men are still wanted by the MIT. They are Samuel Watson, otherwise called Scarty, who is wanted for the murder of Gareth Joseph, as well as a man known only as Richie, who is of dark complexion, thick built, about 5 feet 7 inches in height. He's wanted for the murder of Patrick Rowan. Justin Berry, otherwise called Stevo and Pugs, is also wanted for the murder of Dane Berry. The MIT says Mark Raymond Beckford is also wanted for the murders of Fabian Brown and Nicholas Chambers and for shooting and injuring Carl Roden on November 6 last year. Completing the list is Orlando Alric Trusty, otherwise known as Jethro, J. Sprang, and Raff, who is wanted for the murder of car service, which was committed on August 20 last year. 3 Jamaicans are now in custody of the Grand Cayman police following the interception of a boat allegedly carrying drugs and ammunition in East End last night. It is reported that Marine unit officers were on patrol when they spotted a canoe inside the reef. They immediately initiated a land, air, and sea operation involving officers from several law enforcement units. When the boat carrying the Jamaicans landed, the officers chased and arrested them. Several rounds of ammunition and approximately 300 pounds of ganja were reportedly seized. The men are in custody on suspicion of illegal entry and importation of marijuana. Acting Superintendent Richard Barrow said the operation clearly demonstrates how a well-coordinated air, land, and sea response can be successful in stopping drugs and ammunition reaching the streets of the Cayman Islands. The identities of the men have not been disclosed. The government is taking steps to prevent increases in the prices of agricultural produce during the drought season. The drought has started to impact farming areas, and this could have implications for the availability as well as the cost of produce. But Minister of Agriculture Roger Clark says there's no need for alarm. Mr. Clark told our news centre last night the ministry will be taking steps to increase production despite the expected decline in the supply of water. This should help to stabilize food prices.
The areas where we can up production, we just have to concentrate on those areas. And those areas include our greenhouse farmers and the areas where we have irrigation systems in place. We just have to find a way to see how we can, whatever input we can provide to stimulate the production in those areas. We are working on our agri-parks and we're in, as we speak, preparations going on for production.
Agriculture Minister Roger Clark. And the country is being warned that this year's drought will be more intense than in previous years. Director of the National Met Service, Jeffrey Spooner, states that data available so far suggests that the conditions will be significant. Speaking on Beyond the Headlines yesterday, Mr. Spooner explained that climate change has gradually caused longer dry periods and shorter but more intense rainy periods. He suggested that the conditions will get worse.
The conditions are projected to get worse. We're not seeing any appreciable amount of rainfall until we get into the May-June period. And from the projections, January, February, March, we're expecting below normal rainfall to continue. And again, we need to remember that during the months of January through to March, basically are the dry periods. So the dry periods are going to get worse.
Director of the National Met Service, Jeffrey Spooner. The Jamaica Football Federation, JFF, has joined other Jamaicans expressing sadness at yesterday's passing of Dr. Heather Littlewhite. In a release this morning, JFF President Captain Horace Burrell describes Dr. Littlewhite as a dear, loyal, positive supporter of Jamaica's football program for over a decade. The JFF President saluted her contribution to the Road to France campaign in the form of information and guidance on nutritional which was considered to be one of the ingredients of the success in that campaign. He noted that he further traveled to France to help in the provision of nutritional needs for players and was a trailblazer in this area of expertise. Dr. Littlewhite was a member of the JFF Coaching School Instructor Corps since 2009 and last delivered a lecture on advanced level book in July last year. The well-known food and nutrition consultant died yesterday evening in the intensive care unit at the Kingston Public Hospital. Her widow, Peter Watson, told her news center Dr. Littlewhite had been ailing since early December and recently underwent surgery. Dr. Littlewhite was also known as a lobbyist for the disabled community after she was paralyzed by gunmen's bullets in 1999 during a carjacking. A former journalist, she also gave relationship advice in the media. Dr. Littlewhite is also survived by her brother, Lenny Littlewhite, well-known playwright and producer. In sports headlines, President of the Jamaica Paralympic Association, Christopher Smith, says Jamaica is continuing its fight to have the International Paralympic Association change their quota rules prior to this summer's Paralympic World Championships in Lyon, France. This after three of Jamaica's six athletes for the last Summer London Games are ineligible to compete because of the established quota system used. Spinner Nikita Miller has beat out at fellow Jamaica and West Indies player Marlon Samuels over comments insinuating that there is disunity in the national cricket setup. Philip Hughes scored his second 100 of the series, 138, to propel Australia to a series-leveling 32-run victory over Sri Lanka in the fifth and final one-day international in Hobart. Scores: Australia 247 for 5, Sri Lanka 216 all out. And that's the latest news and sports on Fame at this time.